Who was supposed to come to? There was
Uh,
Naomi.
yeah, there was Naomi and other girls. I don't remember really their names.
Should
Um,
we wait like 5 more minutes to see if they're coming? If you want
yeah,
to.
here's Kanike. She just came.
Oh, okay.
I I just tried to start recording our like Zoom call, but I don't understand if this is
It's
still like
recording.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi Kanike. How are you? Do you know like
Hello.
something about Python and stuff like variables, if statements and everything in
Yes,
Python?
it is. Hello,
Okay.
how are you? I'm good. Yes, but a bit.
Okay. We will wait like 5 more minutes, I guess. I'll text the girls. Can you hear me? Is it like good?
Yes.
Yes.
How was like I mean coronavirus, quarantine and everything? How like is it going in your countries?
Um. We don't have school since March, and I was supposed to have my finals last week, but now they were postponed till September. So I am going to be a junior from September 2019 to September 2020, a whole year.
Oh my god. So how old are you? Like what year were you born? Like
I'm 16, so I'm in the 11th grade. But in Morocco, we only study for 12 years.
uh I just graduated from school, but I just finished my 11th grade and it's like the last year at school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So yeah. How how about Kanike? How are you doing? How is everything? Exams and everything? I asked you a lot before, I know, but still like
It's already better in our country, but we still have to keep our quarantine, and the government, like, um, they like canceled our exams, graduation exams, and all we have to do is to um, like pass test, like, or
mhm,
that is have to do in our all country, that all graduation students have to pass. That's
mhm.
all.
Okay. So should we wait more or just start so they can watch it later? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Should we
Yes,
start now?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, I'll be short. So I guess you know, I expected like girls that don't know Python or like I don't know. So here like variables. Can you see that I'm typing something? Also there's
Yes,
letters.
yes, we can.
So let's name like first variable. Uh, it's pretty simple. You can write like it's equal to 3, and after that you can print it. So like print first variable. And in PyCharm, it's like pretty easy to write a code because you just start writing and then you press the button enter, and after that it goes. So here's, let's try this. So here's 3, and I think it's like easy. And then you can also use input. So you can ask your user, for example, the name of the variable is ask user, and it's equal to input function. So you ask, what's your name? What's your name? And then, oh my God, here's, so actually you can use those, like, you can do this, and then you have to change it to another thing because it should be like that. Here it is. And then you just print something like, you can actually use this function. This is for combined variables and just strings and everything. Hello, dear, and you use those brackets, I don't know, curly brackets, type variable name. So ask user. And what's your name? Khayot. And hello, dear Khayot. You can change it anyway how you want it to do. And then, did you get it? It's like no. If like you don't
Yes.
understand, you can.
I just have a
Okay.
question. What version of Python are you using?
Oh, version, it's Python 3.
Okay.
If you check the LMS website, there you can find the environment where I'm writing code,
Okay.
and there are many examples like with if statements, variables, and everything. So now I'm just like very quick to show you how it all works. So let's go for if statements. Let's do a program uh, for TechGirls. Like if girls are between the age of 15 and 17, then they can be accepted to the program. And if they are not 16 or 17 or 15, then they are not accepted, okay? So we can do like this, just pretty short code. If, um, before we start with the input, right, we should ask the age of the girl. Age is input. It's better also to use integer before input because it is a number, and when you take input, just input like here, it is just a string. There is no like a number or anything that is like float number or just integer. So we write int here. It is like short of integer, and we make sure that Python sees that we are taking a number from a user, not a string or other symbols. So Python knows now that we're asking for numbers only, and if there is no a number, then that shouldn't work, okay? Here we start if statements. If age is less than 17 and or equal, we use less or equal like this. Just I think it's simple to understand, like in math. And if age is less than equal 17, and we also use and in if statements, and it means and, like both statements work if age is less than 17 and age is more than and equal 15, then print you can be accepted to TechGirls program. And here's another thing is just simple. You just write else, and it goes like this. And you have to use tabs. It is very important because if you write something like here, something like this, print, la la la, it won't work because you see, it should be like in a block of else. If it's not there like this, then this will not work. So to change this, you will not be accepted. Sorry. So here's how it works. When I do this, when I like use control and slash or just comment it, I think it should be here. But I just do it with buttons. I don't know where it is. Control and slash means like comments. So when we run a program, other stuff won't as like disturb from the main thing. Here it is, the age. My age is 17. You can be accepted to TechGirls program. So the program is working. Are there other questions or anything you want to know about it?
I think it's clear.
Yeah. Okay. And the next thing is for loop and while. I think it's also about like if statements. We can start like from for loop and then add if statement as well. For example, for loop works like just a loop. So I'll show you how it works. For example, we want to print numbers from 1 to 10, and we don't want to do this like print 1, print 2, and till print 10. So we just do this for I or element in range 1 to 10, print element. Um, so here it is. But you can mention that here the last number is not 10, it is 9. So if you wanna the last number be 10, you have to do something like this, 11. So the last number will be 10. Also, if you want numbers like only odd numbers or even numbers, we can do this as well. From 1 to 100 and only, let's say, even numbers, then the step is 2. You'll see how it works and you'll understand. Actually, there are odd numbers. So here's 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, and till 100. The last one is 99. And we also can do something like if we want to stop or let's say stop a program when it's equal to 5 or 15, we can do something like this with if statement. For element in range this, we do if element is equal to 3, then we break. And else is just print fine. Oops. So you see that there is element which is equal to 3, and it was going from 1 to 100, and then when the element became 3, it broke, and then after that it went to else statement, and after that it was just one fine. Yeah. And
I have a question.
okay.
Can we do it even for not integers?
Yeah.
Integer?
Okay. For example, we have a list. Do you know what is that? Did you like check the course?
No, I don't know what it is.
Okay, list is like you can write anything like okay, nada and Khayot and Kanike. Um, I'll just write Kani. Can I write like this? Is it okay for you?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so 3 people in this list and it's not printed, but we can print it as well. For example, print just list. Let's name it like not list because in Python it is better to use uh, names for variables that are not like used for like um, functions that are already in the Python library. So something new, not just like print or def or like list. For example, my list is good as well, I think. My list, here it is. So we print it and here's everything. But you can see the brackets and like those ugly things, you know. So if we don't want to see this and we want to print something like more nice and more beautiful, so we do this for names. We can do actually we can name any variable here because it's not like a variable. We don't use it actually. It's just to go like a loop inside of the list here.
Okay.
For names in my list, we do this. Just for names in my list, we just print names. And you'll see now the list like this because we use print. And we also will see another thing you'll see now it here. So it looks more like, I don't know,
Yeah,
here,
better
I don't,
than better.
yeah. So actually those for loops and list and dictionaries, they are all for, I think, for data more because when you want keep the information somewhere, it is the best thing to like keep it. And I'll show you the while and then we'll go for dictionaries, which are also used for data. While loop is just the same as for loop, but it's a bit different. Let's say while true, we can do it again. While true, it means it is always true. But if it's not true, you know, Boolean functions like true and false, when true and false, it is true, and when false, false, it is false. Like functions with true and true, it is true, and when it's false and false, it is false. So here we know that everything will be true, so we're typing like this. Um, asking question. It is like a game when you have to guess a number, okay? Um, so we have E, which is a right answer to our game. If uh, asking question is equal to our secret number is, let's say, 2020, then print uh, you won money And we have another statement which is like if, but like second option. It calls elif. Elif asking question is like equal to, let's say, 332. Then we say something like by, that is your last chance. And then else is just sorry. Here we go. I'll try 190. Sorry. So after that, we will try 32, which is last chance. Like we have to break it here. So let's say 32. Okay, this is not working. We actually have to change it to, let's say 32 is good, like just sorry. Or we can do just like else and print sorry. And then here we can add another function. I don't know. Let's give it like this. We stop it and rerun it like 34, sorry, 35, sorry, 70, sorry, and let's say 2020, you want money. So we also can stop the program after we finished it. We have to use break functions and other if statements, but for now, I think it is enough. Next is about lists and dictionaries. Lists, you remember those things, like just list, name, well, I don't know, here. And dictionary is a bit different. Let's name the variable dictionary like this. So let's do something, I don't know, like Hannah and her number is 1234, and then Hannah, her phone number is 3456, and we want to print it. So we just print my dictionary, and here we go. But you have to know that this list won't be shown here because we didn't print it. And here it is. And if you want to show just her number, Anna's number, then you have to print something like magic, and there is a function, values, items, copy, clear, from keys, get. And if you want to learn more about Python, you can just try different things like, let's say, copy or items on your own at home later, and then try them. So now we'll try my dict items, and there should be something different. So it is now like just two completely different things because it is one thing and this is another one. But if we use, let's say, values, we'll get just values, those just like their numbers. And if you don't have questions about lists and dictionaries, it is, I think, very quick. But I just want to show you something more interesting about cybersecurity in Python. So I'm just like very short. def function is just as function, but everything that we did will be kept in this function. Let's name the function like my function. And here we go. We want to print our names, or let's say for I in range from 1 to 2020, but the step is 400, like this. Print I, and we just keep it. And then if we want to call a function somewhere and we don't want to write this code again and again, like repeating it and writing more and more lines of code, we just do this. We call the function. Here it is. And this, everything that is inside of it will work, and you don't have to write the code again. So those numbers are here. We can just don't use this without functions and everything. It will still work, but if you want to use this function again, I mean exactly this block, then you will have to write it again and again, like copy it and then paste it here and then again. So if you don't want to do this, you just use the function. Also, we can do some mathematic things here, like do you know about Fibonacci number? Anything about it?
About what?
Fibonacci number or factorial, something like that.
Like like number that don't.
So for example, factorial is like all those numbers before 5. Like factorial of 5 is 120 because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And factorial of number 5 is 120 because you just multiply all those numbers before 5 and then you get 120. Let's check it. For example, we can do just, I'll show you just with print function. Print, let's say 1 multiplied by 2 by 3 by 4 by 5, and there should be a result. Python is also used for artificial intelligence and things like this. Here is the number 120. So also you can just do factorial of 6 and everything with def function because it's much easier. But I think before that we have to learn more about recursion functions, and I'll give you like a homework or I don't know, something like that, just to practice. And later I'll send you a code. Here is now what I prepared for you is how we can use cybersecurity and Python together. You remember that we have had something like encryption and ciphers and everything. I got inspired with that. Caesar cipher, where everything is pretty easy and it's not that hard to understand, like the word, and then you choose key 5, and then after that you just can encode it or encrypt, decrypt, and everything, like, you know. So here how it works, I don't remember really the website where we did it. Okay, here, TechGirls, here. Cryptography, right? There was a link where we can like try to encrypt and here. So let's say we have like this, hey everyone, and then we use key 5 and try to decrypt it. And here's the result. I thought this is not that useful, so we can just do something like passwords for our social media, where we mostly just use so basic password. I mean, my passwords are not that like, you know, smart or anything. So here's what I tried. We have import random, which is a module in Python. So it means that some people already did some work for you and you don't have to write a code for random. You just use those functions that are in this module random. And here we start. Range is about how many digits do you want of your password. Usually we have like 6 or 8. It is like a basic standard of every social media. And we want to know the key of Caesar cipher. Like here we chose 5, and here we'll choose 5 as well. And before writing a code, I already wrote a code, but I mean, before the main part, I just did something like this. Here is nothing, but it still works. And I wrote this because if you don't have a variable, you don't have a place where you can put your information, your data, or anything. But with this, it is like a variable, but there is nothing yet, but you still can add something there. And here passwords before encryption, and here passwords after. I did just for encryption, but for decryption, it's also easy. I think you'll understand how to do it. I use for loops, which is for it doesn't matter, you can write element or anything, and range. As you remember, we had like first number is first number, second number is like the last number, and we can add step, let's say 5. So the numbers will be like 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. And here's again this thing. There is nothing yet, but we can still add there something. But as it is a loop, this will come again and again. Like every time it goes from for loop, let's say here, from this for loop to this for loop, when everything here works, it goes again to this for loop. And when this comes to this for loop, everything that was here, I mean, everything that you did here becomes empty again, unless you are equal to 100. So if you don't understand, I can explain this again. So this goes like this, and after this works, it goes here, and this is again empty. So random and randint is pretty simple to explain. Let me show you. We use again for I, just to show you, for I in range. We do random just to like take from module random and use some functions. Here there are a lot of them, but randint is just integer number, but it's random from random module. So you just do it and you use parentheses here because it's a function, and just do, let's say we didn't use the numbers like this, and 105, and again this. Yes, and then the next for loop is for range, where we ask how many digits do you want. Here we asked how many passwords we want, like 20 or 10 or I don't know, 5 only. We can do only like from 1 to 5. It's easier, not so many. And then the next loop is about how many digits. Here is a very interesting thing, which is CHR and ORT. I prepared ASCII table for you. Here it is. So when you write something like, let's say, you want to write something in English, or you want to use this symbol, and you don't have Python, and you have only Assemble programming language, it's a very low programming language. You don't have to like write those short lines of code. There is so many lines of code, so you use this ASCII table. It's in a machine level. For this, we use, let's say, 37, right? And we write this here. I'll show you now. CHR and code of this is 37, and we want to print it. Let me just add. So we do this, and we want to know how it looks like. Here it is, 37. I don't know if this is exactly as yeah. So you see that this is exactly as it is here. Oh my God, there's so many. So here I use this CHR and ORT. ORT is different. If you want to know the code of this symbol, you use just ORT, which is like ORT, and after that you just let's say this, and you want to know the code of this, you just print it here like this, and then you see it is 36. Let me check it. It is 36. And you can see that CHR and ORT are just like vice versa. Here you just use the code, but here you want to know the code. So actually you can just do this and you'll get just things that are equal from ASCII table. And this is for loops here because of 33 and 127. Those are kind of strange numbers from like nowhere. But here's ASCII table. 127 is W, the last number. Oh no, sorry, here it is. 127, okay. I don't know why I used this. We start from 33 to 127, the last one. So we want to include all of those things, like all of those numbers, symbols, and everything. And we use CHR, which is just the same as a word. Let me show you, like, we want to print CHR 30, let's say 95, and then we print CHR 96, and then we print CHR 97, and we'll see something like this. It is from A, but we can do 28 and 9. There should be like something like a word, I'm not sure, like MBA. And here we used CHR exactly for this. This loop is a bit harder than the one that was before. because here we use a variable that wasn't like somewhere before we wrote this. It's just a temporary, so I named it temp. And here you just, firstly, you just start from one symbol, and then you use password variable. Here it is. There is nothing yet, but now we add password and temporary, like one symbol, and after that because this was, let me show you, this was like 0, and then temporary was like, let's say A, and now the password is just A, but because we have from 1 to 5 digits in one password, this loop will go again and again like this. It is now A, and then it goes again here. And let me say, like, we have B, but we also have password 0. And then here you just add those things, and Caesar cipher, which is here, your key, like 5 or 6, and you encrypt it. Here is just like a list. Password before, password after. It is also empty yet, but it is still can be filled with something. Okay. So you can see now, how many digits do you want? I want 8 digits in my passwords. My key is, let's say, 17 or 7. My passwords are, here's one password, and encrypted password is completely different. And if someone wants to just hack me, I don't know, or check my Instagram, or someone who just wants to know who I am texting with or talking to, it will be harder to just brute force my passwords because it is always encrypted. And you can see here that there are not so many, but we can do like, let's say, from 10 to 100. I want a 7 digits. Choose your key is 80. And my passwords, all of those passwords, each password here is not encrypted yet, but this is already encrypted. So if you want to get your password back, like from encrypted one, you can just do this. Here you can see that we are adding a Caesar cipher. So something like you are adding a number from one symbol to another to just change it. If you remember from cybersecurity lessons. And we just do something like this, and then it should work. For now, it's just everything. I wanted to show you about cybersecurity and Python. I prepared more examples in the course. You can just copy and then paste and then see how it works inside of the programming environment. But this is, I think, interesting more than all those if statements and variables and lists, dictionaries, loops. But this, I want to say that it's like a base of all of those programming things. When you know those things, it is easier to, let's say, send messages to everyone, like a boat. My friend actually started working on a project She is younger than me on 2 years, but she did a bot that just follows other people from Instagram. Like if you want to follow 20 people, just random people, then this bot will follow those people. And the code was pretty easy because she used, again, module here like this. She imported something connected to Instagram, and that worked. We also have import, let's say math, import math. We use this like print math dot, let's say um, here 4, and the answer should be 2. Yeah, here it is a float, like a type of variables. But if you want an integer, we can do just like again this, and before that we just, sorry, let's say a is integer, or we don't use this. We just let's say how to make it nicer. It is just in, or we can just like, okay, don't worry about it. QWERTY, like and then we just print it a, an integer of a. So the answer now is not float, it's integer, and that's it. For now, I don't know what to add. I was so quick. I didn't know that this will be so quick. And if you have questions or I don't know, anything, we can try it. And maybe we can even talk about like, are you into computer science more now or not? Or what language do you often use for programming? Or what language do you know more? And stuff like this. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So do you have any questions or things to discuss?
Um, I don't have any questions. I don't know if Kanye does.
Okay. And Kani?
I don't have any questions, but I want to say thank you for you. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you too. I think it was a bit boring because I'm not that cool teacher as Kendall Giles. Um, but I tried to do my best, and this was so like basic. And if you wanted to learn more, there are so many like, even in Instagram there are so many accounts where you can just go follow them and just find information about like encryption with Python and decryption and other things. And if you want, I can share with you. Yeah. And if you don't have questions, we can finish the call and say bye to each other, or I don't know.
Can you please just send us the like resources to learn more about these subjects, like either on email or on WhatsApp or Instagram or something?
Yeah, sure. I'll send you email, I think, with Instagram accounts with just links to websites, YouTube links. And I know one man, he's so cool. I just learned, I think, Python just from him, and also practice, of course. He has like a video with like he teaches Python for like 6 hours, like all those basics. He speaks very fast, and you can put speed on like 2 and listen to him, and then it will be very clear to you to learn
Okay.
more and everything.
Okay,
So
thank
yeah,
you.
I'll send you definitely. And if that's it, I will just stop the video call,
Okay.
right? And thank you for joining because
Thank you
actually,
for teaching us. Thank you.
yeah. And have a nice day and have a let your staying home be good and like productive and nice.
Thank
Don't
you.
just use TikTok, Instagram as I usually do. Yeah. And yeah, bye.
Bye.